Remember this thing? Not necessarily from this channel, but just these in general. Yeah. So this is your standard Dell L100 keyboard. Now, you don't see a whole lot of these anymore because everybody's going to those laptop type keyboards and the membrane and the small ones. Either that or they're going to something a little bit bigger, like a mechanical keyboard or something like that. So, but this was the kind of in between. This, for a long time, Dell had these where they were raised higher on the table or the desk. They had pretty good movement on the keys. Even though they were membrane, they still made sort of a clicking sound. It was a real keyboard. And they're almost, I mean, these things are almost indestructible. And not only was I lucky enough when I went poking around at work and asked if they had one of these old L100s because I liked the way they felt as opposed to what I'm trying to type on now. But the guy in the tech center said, matter of fact, I've probably got some of them that are ready to go to e-waste. You want to take a look? Yeah. So I didn't just get one of them. I got 11 of them. Yeah, so we're going to end up having some fun. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up now, and this isn't going to be a long video, but this is going to be one of those things where the last video had to do with taking a Xeon processor and what had been originally a Dell motherboard, and then I got a new motherboard and all that stuff, and I was trying to make a gaming computer on the cheap. How much cheaper can you get than free? So sometimes your accessories, in this case, this is a good sturdy keyboard. And when I was gaming in the 90s, 2000s, and the 10s, it was on keyboards similar to this. I had a Mad Catz keyboard that I still have. I'm using in some cases. I had a keyboard like this. They were just heavy duty. Even like I said, even though they were membrane keyboards, they had good travel on the keys. They were hard to tear up. They didn't just randomly quit on you. And these were some of the, I don't want to say some of the first USB, but that was when USB accessories were becoming a little bit more popular. And these things were everywhere, especially if you had workstations. So if you're trying to do something on the cheap, check with, if you work in a school or a large office building or something like that, check with your IT department or check with the building services manager or somebody like that, and just ask. It can't hurt to ask what are they doing as far as e-waste. Are they looking to get rid of some stuff? Or maybe you might be able to, when they get ready to swap things out or get rid of things, they might be willing to sell it to you for, a fair price. You never know unless you ask, right? Now they are probably not going to sell you the old workstations because those will probably have to go to auction somewhere, or they've already got a contract with the company that will pay them X amount of dollars to take the e-waste or service fee or some type of thing like that when they're buying new computers. But as far as keyboards and mice and even monitors, sometimes you can get a pretty good deal, deal being free. In this case, monitors, some keyboards, some other stuff, all of it free because I asked. And it was just one of those thoughts of, hey, look, I'm working on this, and this keyboard's a pain in the butt, and I just happened to ask if they had one of these old-style Dell keyboards, and they do. So don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no, but that's also one thing where if you're looking at trying to find something cheap, don't forget about yard sales, or go to your local thrift store or something like that. Somebody's got to have something. And even though you can buy some of these, some cheap stuff on Amazon for $10 or whatever, chances are you're going to get something cheap. But some of the stuff that's being tossed out might be worth saving. And in a case like this, I'm pretty darn happy because as many times as I try to build something for somebody and I end up having to either stick with the cheap keyboard or just buy some, or tell them, hey, look, you can just buy something off Amazon for $10. Something like this is a little bit better. Now, true, you're going to have to clean them up. Stuff like this that might have been sitting in a box for 6 months or a year or whatever, or might have been swapped out and just forgotten about somewhere, you're going to have to do some dusting and cleaning up. And it probably does have, people's other residue or whatever on them. But you got to think about this too. A couple of years ago, some of these office buildings had maybe thousands of people. And then when the conundrum happened and people started going back to work, maybe some of these places only have dozens of people. So there's a lot of companies out there, and this might be a good time to do it. Is just some of these companies are getting rid of some of that stuff as people come back to work because now that stuff's obsolete. So you never know. It's worth a shot. And like I said, you might get lucky and not just score one accessory that you need, but maybe more. And what's cheaper than free? I mean, they could pay you to take it, but that's probably not going to happen. In this case, they were very glad to get out from under some of this stuff. And where I went in asking for one, I got a bunch of stuff. And it led to something really, really cool. So if Andrew happens to see this, thank you so much for the hookup. Dude, it was great. I'm loving it. This is going to help in so many ways, especially when I'm doing other people's builds and stuff like that. And we need something, keyboards and all. Always need those. And actually, this is going to swap out one of my work keyboards here. So that'll be good too. Anyway, like I said, it's not a long video. Sorry about that. There will be other stuff going on. This actually preempted a different video that I was already filming that I got interrupted from last night, that I got interrupted from the night before and 2 nights before that. Work is always going to take the place of this. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not going to apologize. My work comes first, then this, until the point where maybe this is making more money than my work does. We're going to have to work on that, huh? No pun intended. Anyway, if you found something useful out of it, or you thought about it and it's like, oh, well, maybe I can do that, or that gave you an idea of going and checking with, looking at yard sales or thrift shops, or just asking somebody at work, then go ahead and leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, please do. We're moving the needle pretty well up over 850 subscribers. Thank you very much for that. Let's keep it going to get to 1,000 and get the watch time up there so we can actually maybe start monetizing this channel. So maybe I can spend a little bit more time doing this eventually instead of my other job. But I really do like my other job. But my primary job, I really, really do like it. So, and especially in cases like this. But yeah, don't forget to visit me on the other socials. I'll have them linked down below. And if you don't do anything else, do just this one favor for me, and that's be good to each other. Be kind, smile, wave, hold the door open, say good morning, something, anything. It doesn't cost anything at all to be kind to somebody. It doesn't cost anything at all to smile or say good morning or hold the door open. And you might realize it helps make somebody's day. So you never know. Anyway, yeah, until the next time when I get myself into something I got no business getting into, I'll see you later.